Emily and Jake spent $34,000 on their wedding. They invited 150 guests to a country club venue that charged $180 per person for dinner. The photographer cost $4,800. Flowers were $6,500. Decorations were $3,200. The DJ cost $1,800. Invitations were $900. The dress cost $2,800. Even the cake was $700. Their parents helped, contributing $20,000 combined, but it still wasn't enough. Emily and Jake borrowed $14,000 on a personal loan at 9.5% interest to cover the rest. Today, they're married, but they're also carrying wedding debt. Their monthly loan payment is about $293, and over 5 years, they'll pay more than $3,000 in interest on top of the original loan. 2 years later, they're arguing about money constantly. The wedding was supposed to celebrate the beginning of their life together. Instead, the debt from that 6-hour party is still following them every month. If you're planning a wedding or feeling pressure to spend tens of thousands on one day, make sure to like the video and subscribe, because today we're talking about the hidden financial trap behind modern weddings. The wedding industry's perfect narrative. The wedding industry sells a powerful story. Your wedding is supposed to be the most important day of your life. Because it's so important, everything must be perfect. The venue must be beautiful. The flowers must be elegant. The food must be unforgettable. The photography must capture every emotional moment. Once couples accept that narrative, spending $30,000 or $40,000 starts to feel normal. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The industry benefits enormously from convincing couples that expensive weddings equal meaningful celebrations. In reality, the price tag has very little to do with the quality of the marriage that follows. The wedding spending paradox. Research has found something surprising about wedding spending. A study from Emory University analyzing more than 3,000 married couples discovered a strong pattern. Couples who spent over $20,000 on their wedding were significantly more likely to divorce than couples who spent between $5,000 and $10,000. Even more striking, couples who spent under $1,000 had some of the lowest divorce rates in the dataset. This doesn't mean inexpensive weddings magically create strong marriages, but it suggests something important. Financial stress can damage relationships, especially when couples begin their marriage already carrying debt. The debt that follows the wedding. For Emily and Jake, the wedding lasted 6 hours. The loan payments will last 5 years. Every month, when that $293 payment leaves their account, it reminds them of a decision they made together under emotional pressure. That payment could have gone toward a down payment for a home. It could have gone toward retirement savings. It could have built an emergency fund or paid off student loans. Instead, it's paying interest on a party that is already long over. And that's where many couples begin to feel resentment. One partner sees the wedding as a beautiful memory. The other sees it as a financial burden that refuses to disappear. The wedding tax. Part of the reason weddings become so expensive is something vendors quietly call the wedding tax. Many services become dramatically more expensive the moment the event is labeled a wedding. Photography packages that cost one price for family events suddenly jump significantly when the client says the photos are for a wedding. Catering prices often increase per guest even when the menu is identical. Venue rentals can double once the word wedding enters the conversation. A Consumer Reports investigation found that vendors frequently charge significantly higher prices for weddings compared to similar events. The difference often has less to do with actual costs and more to do with the emotional expectations surrounding weddings. Couples feel pressure to make everything perfect, and vendors know that pressure increases spending. When weddings become performances. Another hidden force behind expensive weddings is social pressure. Many couples start with a simple vision. Emily originally imagined a small backyard wedding with about 50 people, but family expectations quickly expanded the guest list. Relatives needed to be invited. Parents wanted friends included. The venue had to feel impressive. Before long, the guest list grew to 150 people. At that point, multiplied costs. The couple was no longer planning a wedding just for themselves. They were hosting an event designed to satisfy family expectations and social appearances. The emotional trap. The wedding industry understands something about human psychology. Engaged couples are at one of the most emotional moments of their lives. They're excited, they're hopeful, they want the day to feel unforgettable. In that emotional state, questioning expenses can feel uncomfortable. Cutting the budget might feel like cutting the significance of the celebration. So, couples keep adding upgrades. Better flowers, better photography, better food, better decorations. Each decision feels small in isolation, but together they create enormous costs. The forgotten guests. Ironically, many wedding guests remember very little about the event itself. They remember attending, they remember celebrating with the couple, but most guests cannot recall the exact flowers, the cake design, or the centerpieces. Those details matter intensely during the planning process, yet they fade quickly afterward. Meanwhile, the financial consequences remain for years. Emily and Jake's wedding lasted 6 hours. The loan payments will last 5 years. A simpler alternative. None of this means weddings should disappear. Celebrating love with friends and family can be meaningful and beautiful, but meaningful celebrations don't require massive budgets. Many couples create wonderful weddings with $5,000 to $10,000 by focusing on what actually matters: a meaningful ceremony, good food, people who truly care about the couple. When those elements are present, the experience can feel just as special without creating long-term financial stress. Setting a healthy wedding budget. Couples planning a wedding can avoid many of these problems with a few simple principles. First, set a hard spending limit based on cash you already have. If you can comfortably afford $8,000, then $8,000 becomes the wedding budget. Second, question every expense that feels mandatory. Many wedding traditions exist because the industry normalized them, not because couples genuinely need them. Custom invitations, elaborate decorations, and expensive floral arrangements can often be simplified dramatically without affecting the experience. Third, remember that the purpose of the day is the marriage, not the event. The relationship that follows the wedding matters far more than the party itself. Emily and Jake's wedding was beautiful. Their guests enjoyed it. Their families were proud. The photos look amazing. But today, 2 years later, they're still paying for that 6-hour event. The flowers are gone. The decorations are gone. The cake is gone. The debt is still there. Expensive weddings are often marketed as investments in love. But love doesn't require a $30,000 party to exist. Sometimes the best investment in a marriage is starting it with financial freedom instead of financial pressure. If this made you rethink how much a wedding really needs to cost, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more insights on money, relationships, and the decisions that shape your financial future.